Get those votes in. We're at a tie right now, so that's dramatic. For a little bit, one was in the lead, and now we're head to head. So make sure you get your vote for what quest we should do tonight, which is between the final quest of the game or literally anything else. Get those votes in. Got about 5 more minutes till I will start playing. Still getting set up, getting settled in. I made a really good dinner today. It was Brussels sprouts and chicken. I've been talking about it for a few days, I think. It's chicken breast, Brussels sprouts, with garlic and lemon and honey, and rice. And just like pink salt, crystal, like the crystal salt, and butter, and olive oil, and lemons, garlic cloves, Brussels sprouts, some chicken broth, and like sticky rice. I don't know how to cook. I looked up a recipe and then I just bought everything it needed. It definitely needs some stuff changed for next time, but it was still good. The chicken turned out very tender and juicy. Starting in just a few minutes here. Got like 3 or 4 minutes until start time, which is 7:15 p.m. MST. I just get the stream live early, but then I start at 7:15 p.m. and sometimes I start a little late. That's why I take. I'm going to be going at 7:15. So if it's not at 7:15, I've probably started like watching an episode of Critical Role and lost track of time or something. That's usually what it is. I'm almost all the way. I think I got all the way caught up, except for I need to watch all the four-sided dives. But I watched. What are they on? Episode 49. I'm not going to say what went on. I don't want to spoil it if anyone's behind, because obviously I was ridiculously behind. I'll just say Critical Role is an amazing show. I've been watching it since like 2016, and I love it so much. It's voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they've become like, they were already friends, but they've become like family. And like, it's been cool to watch their thing go from like kind of a niche. Like, there was a solid 30,000 people watching it when I started watching it. But it was only 30,000 people. That's now like a regular million or something crazy. Like, they got like, they kickstarted their TV show on Amazon, and it's like going to season 3 and a spinoff. So for an animated show, the Kickstarter raised like $11 million for 12 episodes. It was originally going to be $700,000 in one episode. Crazy stuff. Anyways, get those votes in. I'm almost set up. I'll see you soon. The poll is for whether or not I should do the final quest or literally anything else. Right now it is tied please get your votes in, because until that tie is broken, then it's just tied. Give it another minute, and then I just get to pick. If you do vote for literally anything else, you don't have to give a suggestion, but it's definitely helpful if you have at least like some sort of direction of like type of quest. So it's either doing the final quest of the main story or doing literally anything else. And then we'll vote on outfit. Oh boy. Who just joined? Get your vote in before we close. Right now, the final quest is in the lead, but someone did just join. So, I'm gonna close it in like 30 seconds. Although, Michael's not here tonight, Genesis is not here tonight. I don't know if I want to put it up to a vote tonight if they're not here and they're going to miss it, because Genesis really wants to see Singularity and Michael's never seen it before. Just consider that. But also I want to respect the votes. I'm just also like torn now because I'm like, well, Michael's gone until later tonight. Also, it's storming. And so if I'm in like the middle of it and the power goes out, if it's Singularity, that's a pretty long quest. If I was to lose the internet or something. But I want to, like, I'm going to do what you guys vote for, so. Which is Singularity. Wait, oh no, it's tied now. I see that. Now it's tied again. Well, that becomes apparent as the quest goes on. I'll put it that way. This owl is not what it seems. It's a feather and a hunk of meat. Well, shoot, now that the vote is tied again, I don't want to seem like I'm rigging it either, but also like I definitely didn't close it earlier and now it's tied. I just like really, Genesis really wanted to be there for it. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't put it up for a vote and then be like, here's an emotional guilt trip. I make poor choices, y'all. You heard it here first. I thought, have you played this game, Klaus? I thought you had played this game for some reason. too. Yeah, Genesis, I haven't heard from in a little bit. Singularity is back in the lead. It is the 1 year anniversary of last time I beat it was last night. Or like the first time I beat it, I mean. I thought you had played this game. Is what I had thought. Okay, I'm gonna leave the vote open until I do these conversations with everyone in the base. And then once the conversations are over, whatever is winning is what I'm gonna do. How about that? And I'll hold myself to it. Oh yeah, you're right, sorry. I like forget what I've seen on Instagram or like who posts what.
Aloy, it appears that we have some interesting new guests. I'm glad to see you're okay, though. I heard you gave the Tanakh something to talk about. I was half expecting you to burst in through the ceiling riding a sunwing.
Sorry to disappoint. Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of something. She's more like a cold piece of metal, bent on repelling all semblance of life.
She's definitely different. Ready to head over to the Zenith base?
Whatever comes, we will endure.
Have you talked to any of our new friends?
Aaron and I tried speaking to Silence, but apparently our tribal prattle is unnecessary.
Charming, isn't he? I have to go. I trust you to keep things civil around here?
I'll make sure Aaron doesn't punch Silence in the face, if that's what you mean.
Thanks.
Aloy, you came back with some interesting friends.
Wish I could say we don't need them, but Silence and Tilda are here for a reason. Even Regala.
Yeah, enemy of my enemy and all that, right?
Right. You, talked to
So we're gonna
Tilda
have all these conversations
tried.
and we have until these chats are over to get the votes in.
You say she wants to help?
Singularity is winning right now.
Let's hope. Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Katalo tells me you flew. Well, that's new. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon. With the Zeniths.
Looking forward to it.
I guess Silence is keeping to himself, as usual.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass to the ground.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that smug face of his? After everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, he's got something we need. I better get going.
Oh, you know where to find me.
Haven't seen you since the battle at the Grove. How are you holding up?
I saw you fly on the wings of the Ten, and paralyze Regala's army with lightning. I would say that I am inspired.
Thank you, I guess.
It is I who should be thanking you.
Your people keep mentioning the wings of the Ten. What exactly does it mean?
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky for us. To imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess. It is why the challengers leap into the arena during the cUltra. And now, you have done it. Like the deeds of the Ten themselves, it will never be forgotten. So, tell me, how did it feel?
I won't lie. Pretty good.
I can only imagine.
Did you meet Tilda?
There is something about her that doesn't
Don't
seem
forget
natural.
to vote if you
I
haven't
wouldn't be
voted yet.
surprised if
We're
my
either
sword
doing
went through her.
Singularity or literally anything
She
else.
didn't bleed at
You get to
all.
pick what else
Honestly, with her,
if you suggest
nothing would
something
surprise me.
for the other whatever. You'd be like,
Things will get
go
ugly
look
once the
for
Zeniths realize we're in their base. You'll need every
metal
trick you've ever
flowers
learned.
and fire
I would have it
gleam
no other way.
or
Many soldiers died in the
drones
world to make sure we
or
stood here today.
something. Or
We will
we're
endure
doing
on their
Singularity.
behalf. Though, I am curious how you intend to defeat the Zenith's defenses without an army of our own.
Leave that to me.
I am at
Just
your
make sure
mercy,
you're ready to
chat.
fight.
As you say, you have more than earned my trust.
Look, I know you're probably not happy about keeping Regala around, but I want her on our side when we fight the Zeniths.
It is more than she deserves. Even so, I will not question your judgment.
Thank you, Katalo. I have to go, but I'll be briefing everyone on the plan soon.
Understood.
You flew? Kotalo told me. And took out Regala's machines? You know what? I don't even know why I'm surprised. I saw we have visitors and a new weapon. Does this mean we're ready to take the fight to the Zeniths?
Almost. I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question I've ever had about the legacy. Every diviner I know would
It's for the
kill to get
drones.
5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or just
poor
scared
Alva.
of her. Probably both.
You sure you're okay going on this mission? I know things must be happening pretty fast for you.
I've already braved oceans and madmen who thought they were ancestors reborn. Why not a few immortals with lethal drones at their command, too?
Guess the more the merrier. Are you okay?
I was wondering, is it really safe having someone like Regala here? She seems angry. The kind of angry that leads to murdering people in their sleep.
Don't worry. We're going to point that anger in the right direction. The Zeniths.
If you say so. means he's the one who built the weapon that can take down Zenith shields?
He is. Though I wouldn't expect him to answer any questions about it. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us lesser mortals.
Oh.
You know that special part of us that makes us warm, kind, welcoming?
Our spirit?
Yeah. He was born without that. I need to wrap up a few things, but stay sharp.
I'll be ready when you call.
Thinking. He's just gonna be standing.
Did you need something? Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith.
Get your vote, Sin.
Care to explain?
You have until I'm done with all these conversations to determine whether or not I do the final quest tonight or do literally anything else. My fate is in your hands.
To comprehend my undertakings, sir.
Hey.
Ask away.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
Since you turned this into...
Right now the final quest is winning.
And as it seems you have found...
You can help reinforce that,
success,
or you could help change the course against that. It's up to you.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the last few months. Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Klaus.
You, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regalla's rebels with override tech.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before I found the coordinates at the Spire, you were out here scheming. Why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I laid out my plans. I knew I would one day require an army of overzealous Tenakth to assault the Zenith base. The casualties would be extreme. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice, no matter how necessary. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference from the equation at the Hades Proving Lab.
You wanted me to surrender to the Zeniths at the Hades Proving Lab. They almost killed me.
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way and, more importantly, out of my way.
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that particular detail.
Detail? Well, I guess if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today. Why create the Sons of Prometheus? You didn't need a bunch of Oseram tinkerers to make override tech.
They were a necessary safeguard. My time serving Hades and the Eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could execute my plans, all while remaining anonymous.
Tell me about the weapon. How does it work?
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect covering a significant distance.
That doesn't fully answer my question.
No, but I'd be a fool to reveal its inner workings. After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with the Zenith drones? Yes, even you can appreciate the value of secrecy when warranted. Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how is knowledge that is mine alone.
Why help Regalla take over? If you wanted an army, you could have just gone to Hekarro.
Before Regalla's rebellion, Hekarro was only concerned with battling machines and fostering friendships with the Karja. Even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty exile was easier?
Yes. Exceedingly so. All Regalla craved was war, against the Carja and anyone who threatens the Tenakth. She would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was precisely what I needed.
While I was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the ocean. And?
Their entire tribe was shaped around the discovery of focuses. One of them, Alva, even joined me here. Don't you want to know more about them?
No. They stumbled upon the greatest technological artifact from the ancient world, and what did they do with it? They shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mysticism and taboo, creating a pantheon out of corporate shields.
Yes, well, it also led them to Thebes.
Did it now?
So those run-ins with the Quen I mentioned. On one of them I teamed up with their expedition to search Thebes. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So, what was it like?
Worse than you can imagine.
He single-handedly wiped out collective human knowledge. I'm sure it was still less than he deserved.
Let me guess. You would have scraped him into a jar so you could prod his brain, like what you did with Hades.
For a start.
Alright, Silence. I think I've talked to you long enough. I'll let you know when it's time to go. And try not to mess with Tilda while you're in here, okay? I don't need the two of you butting heads.
Ah, yes. About your Zenith ally. I wonder if you understand what kind of person you're dealing with. For someone to live as long as she has, outlast as many calamities, well, your goals may be aligned now, but I'd watch for the moment they diverge.
Yeah, I'm aware. Reminds me of someone else I know.
Survival is only a necessity to my greater purpose, Aloy. I'd hoped you'd recognize that by now.
Do you know something or not?
Oh, I know a great deal of things. But on this, just call it a feeling.
Oh, a feeling? You mean you finally had one? Huh. Guess even you can change, Silence.
There you are. I trust everything is all right. Well done, Aloy. Despite my reservations, you managed to secure Silence and his weapon. You're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... what happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her.
I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less when I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was brilliant, visionary. She cared so deeply for the world, for the betterment of humanity. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, including me. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the proving lab after Far Zenith's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Far Zenith, not who I truly am.
Don't forget to get those votes in. We're either doing Singularity or literally anything else. Right now, Singularity is winning, but that could change because I still have to finish this whole conversation tree.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industries.
And let me guess, all selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths, Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. And the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
So, Eric. Was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company. A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on
the
rampages
voting
as violent
is
as he pleased,
shifting.
though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
There's still time between
All
this
this travel seems
conversation
one of the
and one or
greatest
two
people
more
for
that still have to
humans.
happen
Then they would be quite
for
disappointed.
the tide to turn
Though I'm sure
between
you bask
doing
in the
Singularity,
animation.
which is the final quest of the game, or literally anything else.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base,
Get those
what
votes
can we
in.
expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends. Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia's location, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's
I
infrastructure,
love
and then to
Tilda so
fabricate
much.
more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to
She's
and
just
from
such
our
a
ship.
fascinating character to me.
After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
There is still time to vote, because we still have another conversation on whether or not we're going to do singularity or literally anything else.
Okay.
So get
I'll let
those
you know when it's
votes
done.
in.
I'll be here until then. And thank you,
I
Aloy,
love
for
Tilda
giving
so
me this
much.
chance. My past has always been a struggle. More than once I've lost everything. But when I look to the future,
Same.
I see Liz's dream fulfilled. A universe of new possibilities.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get in the way. I promise you that.
So, story time before, even before, there's two parts to this story. Before they announced that Carrie-Anne Moss was in the cast of this game, I was sitting there watching all the Matrix movies in like December because the fourth Matrix had come out. And I get to that shot in The Matrix 2 when Trinity is falling and there's like all the glass shimmering around and it's like slow motion, and then I was like thinking of Aloy at the Proving, which I always thought of those shots together anyway, but I actually like tweeted it. And so that was like late December, and then like 2.5, 3 weeks later they did the cast announcement that Carrie-Anne Moss was in Horizon Forbidden West. But there's more layers to it because I want to say I want to say 6 to 8 months prior,
Stay as long as you
my D&D game had started. No, it wasn't that long earlier, but it was like several months earlier. My D&D game had started, and my character literally is a elf. She's like 250 years old, and she's a researcher, and so she's wearing like an elf-like lab coat, but with metal bands around her that project a light shield. And she looks elf-like and wears a white bodysuit lab coat, but elf-like bodysuit lab coat, and like doesn't carry anything, and has like a Mass Effect-ish armband that she keeps her notes in her little computer. So anyway, my character is literally Tilda. She's like 6 feet tall, like 250 years old, and her god is a computer, and she has an armband that comes out of her left arm. It's like kind of like Mass Effect, but more elf-like. Because her god is an AI that ascended to godhood.
I believe Regala
in my D&D game.
been...
And so then they announced Tilda, and I lost my shit, and I still do, because my D&D game keeps being Horizon-like, and it's great.
I should be
The
going.
end. My roommate has never played Horizon. There's still time to vote on whether or not we do Singularity or literally anything else, because I have to go to the basement still. So let's go to the basement. Basement. I miss you, Beta. This is our reward for not killing someone earlier. Get those votes in. She's so creepy.
No sand or wind.
I love her so much.
And the others up there. Your squad.
They can hold their own. As for this base, it may not be what you're used to. But it is a shelter.
Call it what it is. A cage.
You came here on your own.
For the battle you promised. So for now I wait in my cage for your word. Tell me when to strike.
The whole time I've been in the West, I've been fighting you and your rebels. I'd at least like to know why.
You were among the enemy. What more is there to know?
Why did you do it?
Dork, Jiroka, Makalo, and the Karja pushed into the desert to raid our people. My brother's squad was among the first to intercept them. But the Karja captured them, strung them up, and burned them alive as an example. It was too late. I found them by the sound of their screams.
So you wanted vengeance?
Vengeance? No. I wanted devastation. To tear down the Karja's cities and drown the land in blood. Hunt down every last survivor and grind their bones until the sky chokes on the dust. But my chief betrayed me. Betrayed the Tanakh.
How did Hikaru betray you?
Hikaru called on the clans to resist the Karja's red raids. But we did more than just defend. We hunted them. And they fled, as children before a pack of claw striders, all the way to their border. There we ripped down their stone walls. Their domain was ours for the taking. But when it came time to push on, Hikaru ordered us to fall back. What soldier retreats when slaughter is at hand?
The kind who wants peace for their people.
Peace is just a lull between vendettas. But I thought my chief had greater tactics in mind, so I stood by him, even when he allowed that filthy Karja to join our ranks.
Fashav.
I enjoyed watching him die at the embassy. He should have been put down when we first captured him on the field. Instead, Hikaru made him a marshal.
Fashav told me how he became a marshal. He earned it just like any Tanakh.
It was an insult. No outlander can ever deserve to wear our armor, bear our marks. And then a Karja messenger was brought before us? That's when I knew. I had to run my blade through Hikaru and drag his treacherous corpse to the gates of the sun.
What happened when the Karja messenger appeared before Hikaru?
The quivering priests bore a message from their new king. No more war. No more raids. Suddenly the Karja wanted to talk peace. An embassy at the very fortress we tore down? A true Tanakh would never take a Karja truce. Their blood exists to be spilled. But Hikaru lapped up the priest's message. He showed himself a Karja-loving traitor when he accepted. That's when I challenged him.
And lost.
His mercy was just another sign of his weakness. I vowed never to rest until the debt was repaid, with him on his knees before me. So with an army of soldiers and machines at my back, I returned. The day you got in my way.
The deal you made. Override tech in exchange for an assault on the Zenith base. How did Sylens approach you?
That name means nothing to me. My agreement was with Oseram mercenaries.
So all this time, you didn't even know who you were really dealing with?
Last chance to vote on either singularity or literally anything else.
But they offered me the chance to run the Karja down with machines. The terror in your enemy's eyes when they see you charge. You know what I'm talking about. I bet you felt it.
I don't think so. What about your end of the deal?
How long is singularity?
Had I killed Akar and become chief,
Oof.
these Zeniths would have been the first of the tribe's victories. But because of you,
I'll go with what you guys go
my people
vote for,
continue to
but I
be
am
sold
tired
to
already, so we'll see how interesting it is. See how long
Because
I
of
make
me,
it.
hundreds of Tanakhs won't throw away their lives in a battle they can't win. Are you really going to fight alongside me?
I have no reason to betray you.
Really?
I failed to kill Hakaro, failed to eliminate you. No Tenakth would follow me now. The Karja remain out of my reach.
I just might not be very chatty.
Their walls. All I have left are the screams of those long dead and unending rage. So show me where to bury it.
All right. I guess we'll both face the end soon enough.
Ever since you got in my way, I've wanted to see your bones burned white beneath the sun. But if I'm to die in battle, then it might as well be with the one who flew with the wings of the Ten.
I'll let you know when it's time to move out.
Alright, there we go. Gonna close the poll.
Come on.
Last chance to get your votes in. Well, I guess it's already passed now, so end poll. A moment ago was your last chance to get your votes in. There you go. That dialogue went way longer than I thought it was going to, because I don't know, ADHD time awareness is a thing. And so here we are. I didn't realize what I was doing when I signed up for that.
Maybe it's time to get everyone together so Tilda can brief us.
It's all good
Is
though.
there anything I should handle before that? All right, people. I need you up in the control room, right away. Okay, everyone. We all know what's at stake. Beta, Gaia. Not to mention life on Earth. Now, it might seem like the Zeniths are invincible, but they're not. We've got what it takes to break into their base and defeat them. We even have one of them on our side. Tilda, show us the base.
It is constructed atop the ruins of an ancient military facility on an island to the southwest. I can get us inside. To this location. Undetected.
How exactly?
You'll know when you need to. Once inside, our goal will be this structure. The launch tower. Gaia and Beta are being held at the top. But along the way, we will face overwhelming resistance. Most importantly from Gerard, Eric, and the others. But also...
Once I take away their shields, we should be able to deal with them. But it will be easier to deploy the device if someone else is carrying it. I'll need a strong back.
Carry stuff? Yeah, I can do that.
Even if your device works, there will still be Spectre drones, scores of them.
If only we had an army to fight them.
I've got that under control. You'll know when you need to. All right. We'll meet up again just before we go in. Where's the best place to rendezvous?
On the coast, just across from the island. Once there, I'll show you the way.
Okay. I'll let you know when I arrive at the rendezvous point. And then you can join me. In the meantime, do whatever you need to prepare. Understood? You two? A minute? Tilda helped me get in touch with Beta, and she told me something important. There's an installation inside the base. It's called a regulator. Here. Once we're inside, I need you two to split off from everyone else and destroy it. So you'll have to bring explosives. This will help stop the drones. Everything depends on it. Are you with me? After that, I want you to find a way to infiltrate the Zenith network.
How?
Go over all the data that Beta left behind. She knew how to do it, I'm sure of that.
All right. But why? What am I trying to do?
Find information about the Zeniths. Anything Tilda's not telling us. Silence is right about one thing. There's no way we can take her on her word.
I'll do my best.
Keep her safe, okay?
On my life.
Go ahead and get your votes in on outfit. Is this the thing you were talking about, Klaus?
What's this?
This thing,
Looks like there's
yeah,
some data here.
it just kind of changes how it looks here.
So this Cyclops is a network of drones to monitor the deteriorating biosphere conditions. I guess it was meant to display on the dome, but the drones aren't connected anymore. If I find the drones out in the wilds, I could get the data from them. Use it to reconnect them and restore display.
Oh my god, there's more conversations with companions? Are you serious right now? You guys, what if I stopped here tonight and I definitely do Singularity tomorrow night, but there's no way I'm gonna stay awake for conversations and then the whole quest of Singularity. I'll wear the Tanakh, the Utaru Warden that Klaus voted on for the conversations. And I'll put it on right now so I don't forget. And then we'll strike it up from there. But it's like, that's way too much ahead of me and it makes it already not fun. And I'm like, nope. It's already was way too much conversations and now there's more. Like, I apologize for that. But I just know my own limits and I don't want to push myself into a space where I'm resenting what's happening. So, I'm sorry for like being like, hey, let's do singularity, and then just ditching. But oh my god, no. There's no way I can stay awake for conversations and a quest. I know my limits. This outfit, Klaus, looks, do you like these colors as well? Cool, cool. Alright, sweet. So, because it's, yeah, I'm just getting sleepy earlier, and then I'm waking up earlier, like before the sun comes up. It's crazy. Since I got my gallbladder out, it's totally changed my body's, like, sleep rhythms with the sun. Which, like, they were offset before anyways, where I was, like, waking up at 11 a.m. and then, like, going to bed at 4 a.m., like, just naturally. And then I got my gallbladder out, and now it's, like, but it's, like, always been the 11 a.m. thing. And now it's not, and I'm, like, I don't know what to do with, like, this, like, waking up before 6 a.m. and getting sleepy at 8 p.m. thing. It's breaking me. I don't know what to do with myself. So we'll pick up with the conversations tomorrow. Sorry I didn't really do anything like action oriented tonight, but we did have some interesting chats. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. We can pick colors tomorrow night, so I'll have to see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 7:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a great night, everyone. Sorry for disappearing, like, partway into the quest, but it's such a long quest. We'll pick up on these conversations. There's just so much dialogue. And I didn't prep for how much time that was going to take. That's totally on me. Thanks for understanding, though. Red and green. That's a good combo. It looks like a watermelon-y. Sweet, or strawberry, I guess, also kind of works. Alright. Have a good night, everyone. I'll continue the conversations and pick up on singularity for as long as I can stay awake for tomorrow night. Might do a little Dragoon during the day. We'll see what happens. No guarantees. What's the good and bad news? Just before we sign off, I guess. Or you can tell me tomorrow? Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Gotcha. Well, you know how to find me. I'll still be awake, like, taking everything down with the setup that I used for the stream. So, I'll be available on Instagram for at least a few minutes, so hit me up. Let me know what the good and bad news is if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and we can take that to a one-on-one conversation. And I'll end the broadcast here. Have a good night, everyone. And I'll be back on at 7:15 p.m. tomorrow. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast there. Have a good night. Ah, okay. Well, thanks for the good and bad news, Klaus, and have a great one. Bye.